Welcome back to Skippers, presented by Owner's Box Fantasy Sports. Today's segment, the waiver wire segment. Players that are under 20% rostered in your leagues that you should pick up. Avery Chenier, Jeremy Roach, Andrew Boyer here to give you some waiver wire studs that you can pick up. Jeremy, let's get into your two guys first.
All right, so I got Josh Harrison and I got Pete Fairbanks. So Josh Harrison is my deeper pick, 2% rostered. So actually, no, he's 12%. What am I saying? 2%. 12% rostered. He's been playing really well with the Nationals. Currently hitting .329 with a .417 on base percentage. He's kind of resurrected from the dead. Obviously, we saw what he did with the Pirates. He was good. He's been shit the past couple years. So it's nice to see some good in Josh Harrison. But he's hitting 3 right now. I know it's going to change when Juan Soto comes back, but I can see him hitting 2 or stay in the 3 spot. He's been hitting so well. Looking at his stats, what's changed from Josh Harrison? He's not striking out as much. He's got his lowest strike percentage of his career. So that's what I like about. He's being selective. He's not whiffing as much on pitches. So I love Josh Harrison as a pickup, especially because he gets second base eligibility, and that position has been terrible all year.
Yeah.
And then I have Pete Fairbanks. Saves have been fucking brutal in the MLB right now.
We know how bad that is.
And we are struggling. Look, Diego Castillo went to the the IL. But no, this is a great opportunity for someone to get saves. Obviously, the Rays, they're going to pull some freaking stunt where they're going to...
But they actually haven't pulled stunts this year. Diego Castillo, 7 of their 9 saves.
He's been awesome. He's been great this year. So I think
What's more confusing is that the fact that they've used one guy for that majority of their saves, though, I think.
It is so weird because it's not the Rays. It's not the type of style they run. But Fairbanks is a great pitcher. So either way, he's going to get you some save opportunities and he's going to give you good ratios. So I love Fairbanks. 26% rostered. Go pick them up.
26%. We said this segment was under 20%.
We said under 30.
Okay, so this is an argument between Jeremy and I for later. We're sorry for lying to you at the start of this episode, but just what we have to deal with here. Andrew, let's get into your two guys.
All right, so I've got 2 outfielders rostered in less than 10% of leagues for you guys.
Thank you for listening to what the segment actually is.
So this is for super deep leagues or leagues where you have 5 outfielder spots. So first I got Marisnick on the Cubs, rostered in 4% of leagues. He's everything the Cubs could have wanted and more for their center field position so far this year. And in the last 2 weeks, 4 homers, 2 steals, and batting .300. So for a guy that's rostered in 4% of leagues, he's definitely available in your league. So I'd go pick him up if you need an outfielder. Next, we have Grossman on the Tigers, rostered in 6% of leagues. 7 for 7 on steals to start the season. So that's pretty good. So if you're hurting in the steals department, definitely got to grab. His average is only .220, so he might hurt you there. But his on-base percentage is .370. So the guy is a walk machine. So if your league does on-base percentage or total walks, definitely should already be owned. And the Tigers are obviously giving him a green light, 7 for 7 on steals. So if you need steals in the outfield position, definitely grab Grossman.
So I love the pick of a Tigers player. I love picking players on shitty teams. You know that.
You love fucking picking players from shitty teams.
I mean, it's just what I like to do. I enjoy it. Let me get into my two guys. My first guy, Shane McClanahan of the Tampa Bay Rays, 19% rostered. 2 starts so far this year. Based on what people have said on Twitter, this guy's the next coming of Jesus Christ. And you know what? I'm going to agree with him. I love Shane McClanahan. A lefty throwing 100 miles an hour with a wipeout slider cutter thing. Like, are you kidding me? That's awesome. He just diced up the A's.
Just nasty stuff.
And it's awesome. I love to see it. Problem is 4 innings each start, but 5 Ks.
That's the issue.
Yes, and we're going to talk about it, Jeremy, all right? So 5 Ks in each start, 0.71 average against, 40.2 called strike and whiff rate. Probably the best I've seen so far when I have looked up any of these players so far this year. 167 batting average on balls in play against. Elite numbers. Like I said, 100 mile per hour fastball, nasty slider. He's going to get whiffs. He's going to get strikeouts. Stuff is amazing. You believe in it. The problem is the 4 innings. The Rays are weird. He's going to do the same with Luis Patino on that team. So it's tough for you to think 4 innings. You cannot get a win as a starter pitching 4 innings.
He's not
Great point.
In win category leagues, he's not very relevant.
Correct.
Because the Rays, he's young, the Rays aren't going to stretch him.
Yes, which is a problem. But if you look at ratios, whip, ERA, he's going to help you out in categories league.
For sure.
90% rostered. If they stretch him out, stud, must roster, pretty much. But hopefully we get there at some point. But he's nasty. I believe in his stuff. That's why I picked him as my waiver wire guy. Next, a little deeper guy, Willie Calhoun of the Texas Rangers, only 8% rostered. Hitting at the top of the Rangers lineup, I saw it yesterday. I didn't look into how much he actually hits at the top of the lineup, but I know like Solak's up there, some of those guys. But I saw him up there yesterday, and they won, so why do you not keep him up there? Slashing 316, 381, 491, 3 homers, 5 walks, 6 RBIs in the last 15 games since coming off the IL, 45% hard hit rate, 309 expected batting average, 486 expected slug. These are great numbers for a guy who's rostered in 8% of leagues. This is a must-add for people in deep leagues, 5 outfielders. You need to have Willie Calhoun on your team. And I have an honorable mention. My former teammate is Josh Naylor. He is rostered in pretty much 0% of leagues. He is hitting the shit out of the ball. Up there in doubles. I mean, if you need some guys, I think Josh Naylor is a good guy. Anyone's thoughts on my picks?
Willie Calhoun, just a fun guy to have on your team, regardless of how he's doing.
I think Willie Calhoun brings up the conversation. I was gonna put a real deep sleeper here for waiver wire, and that's K. Davis. I'm stashed in one of my deeper leagues. I don't know what to expect, but like any sort of production from this guy is bonus. I mean, we saw what he did in Oakland. The guy was a fantasy monster.
He just hit 247 every year and just a ton of home runs.
I don't know what to expect with him in Texas.
I don't think it's going to push any of Willie Calhoun's.
They're hitting too well to be pushed out of the lineup, but at some point, him, Willie Calhoun, or Adolis Garcia are going to get cold, and they could get pushed out of the lineup.
Yeah, Adolis Garcia, I think, is a guy who's hot and cold, too. Yeah. Willie Calhoun, more of an average guy. That's all I got. Any more notes from anyone here?
Nope.
That's all we got. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you next time.